A very good morning to you. This is, of course, the Chat Up with me, Jamie, and we've got a very special person on board today as well. We've got Aaron joining us. Hi, Aaron. How you doing?
Hi, Jamie. Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good as well, and Aaron and I have a lot to talk to you about. Of course, we've a lot with regards to entertainment and with regards to keeping you inspired as well. Aaron for sure has a lot to share with you, so make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. But Aaron, before we get on into the conversation, I want to remind everybody that's listening in to download our app. Okay, it's available absolutely free of charge on iOS and Android. So make sure that you download our app so that you can take us with you wherever that you go. I also want to remind you that Aaron and I are going to be having a lot of diverse conversation. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things, and you are most likely going to have your own opinions about them. And if you have a different perspective, or if you agree with us, we would absolutely love to hear from you, right, Aaron?
Yeah.
We would love. Exactly. We would love to hear your opinion. We would love to hear your ideas, your perspectives. If you want to say hi to us, all you got to do is, if you're listening to us on any of our lives, all you got to do is comment down below. When you do comment down below, we can interact with you in real time, which is absolutely cool. And, we can give you a shout out. We can have a conversation with you. And yeah, we're here for you 24/7, 365. Also, if you are listening to us on our app, very simply, you could call us up on our number that is 078 52473 Now, with that being said, Aaron, I thought we should start off the show with something kind of inspirational. I know for a fact that Aaron has a lot of entertainment related things to talk about. But Aaron, I wanted to share with everybody listening in the importance of happiness. I don't know about you, but for me, being a millennial, being a Gen Z, it's as of recent that I realized the importance of happiness. And I know this sounds super cliche. I know this sounds like every motivational quote you'd hear on like social media or whatever. But I don't think a lot of us have comprehended the importance of making happiness a part of our everyday life. Does that make sense to you, Aaron?
Yeah, absolutely. I think being happy is a big part of your life. I think there's definitely a little bit too much negativity in today's society. So hopefully today we can brighten people's days up with a little bit of motivational talking.
Absolutely, I agree. There's so much negativity in the world, but I want to remind you that everything you do in life, you need to do it for happiness. Because the most important thing, for me at least, the most important thing is to enjoy life, is to be happy, and that's all that matters. And I feel like we're kind of stuck in this, like I always say, we're kind of stuck in this 9 to 5 cycle of like a race in today's society, that we kind of forget to be happy. We kind of forget to actually enjoy ourselves, right? And that for me is actually a huge problem. So, Aaron, I want to share with everybody else listening in a few things that you can do in order to make happiness an important part of your life. Now, the first thing I do want to talk about is to take it easy. Aaron, are you somebody that takes it easy on a day-to-day basis, or what is it like for you? And I want you to be honest, okay?
Okay, I'll be honest. I am one that likes to have an easy day. If I had the chance to relax all day, I definitely would. I don't know about you, Jamie. I do like to take it easy and have my feet up.
Right. Okay. So about me though, for the longest time, I wasn't the kind of person that took it easy. Everything needed to have like a reason, a rhyme and reason for it to happen, and I would always need to do something in order to feel productive. If that makes any sense, I'm sort of a workaholic, but that kind of took a negative turn in my life. Like for me, I could never just sit and relax. And that took such a toll on my mental health, and it impacted me on different aspects of life. And it was really hard to function on a day-to-day basis. And that's when I realized the importance of taking it easy. You need to take life in an easy way. No matter what is going wrong right now, I think you need to kind of have that belief that everything is going to be all right. Especially with the pandemic, Aaron, I feel like a lot of people like me who need everything to be in place, we kind of felt helpless. like there was nothing you can do to stop what's happening, and you kind of feel helpless, you kind of feel lost. And it's in those moments that it's super important that you take it easy, that you understand, that you acknowledge the fact that one day everything's going to be all right, but you just gotta take it as it comes. And that's definitely a philosophy that has helped me in my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
Exactly.
you can definitely see the UK, the people of the UK definitely have a positive outlook in negative situations. I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures on social media of the pubs opening up and the rain coming down, and they're under their umbrellas. The people in the UK really do have a good outlook on some really bad situations that we've been through in this year, and I think that's definitely a plus for us going forward.
Most definitely. Yeah, I agree. We everybody in the UK, we're absolutely lucky because, like what you said, Aaron, pubs are opening up, the travel restrictions, lockdown restrictions as a whole has reduced so much so. Whereas there's also a lot of other people around the world, especially in countries like India, especially in the South Asian part of the world, people are suffering so badly still because the pandemic is crazy bad in those areas. So I think what I'm trying to say is another way to be happy on a day-to-day basis is to be grateful. Like something that I always say, Aaron, is that no matter how horrible our life would seem right now, the kind of life that we're living is a fairy tale to somebody else. Like it's the dream life of somebody else. So I think a very important way to own happiness is to be grateful and appreciative of the fact that you have breath in your body, that you're alive today, and that essentially is a reason to be happy, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's definitely, something, a very important lesson I've learned is always live every day as if it's your last. So enjoy every day, enjoy your life, and happiness will come with that.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Okay, so the next thing that we do want to talk to you about is to keep yourself aware of the present moment. Now, if you do want to make happiness an important part of your life, it's so important that you live in the present moment. I think we touched on this a couple minutes back as well, but I cannot stress enough the importance of grabbing the present moment, okay? Because you need to realize that the present moment is all you have. You need to realize the worth of it. You need to smile, and you just need to understand that this moment is all you've got, and because of that you've got to enjoy it. And I think, again, coming back to the topic of the pandemic, one thing that the pandemic reminded me personally was that life is super unpredictable. Like, you don't know which moment is going to be your last. But I guess if you live every moment, like what you said, you live every moment like your last, you are definitely going to be happy. You are definitely going to have a good time.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, Jamie. During the pandemic, I think everyone in the UK definitely met some lows during the heights of lockdown. But like I said, going back to that point, we definitely found some highs during that time. And, being locked in with family members, we finally got closer. I think it was definitely a positive in that negative. We all got closer as a unit, and we learned a lot about our family members that we maybe not have known if the pandemic wasn't there.
Exactly. So that's a very interesting point, Aaron. Actually, that brings me to my next point. Actually, if you do want to be happy, you've got to find the positive, even though everything seems so negative around you. Even though everything seems like really chaotic around you, there's always going to be positive aspects as well. And you've got to look for that light. You've got to look for the positive amidst the negative if you want to be happy. So for everybody listening in, that's some very good lessons that you need to adhere to, I feel like, if you want to make happiness an important part of your life. Now, the other thing that I do want to talk about before we take a small break, Aaron, is the importance of celebrating small victories. Now, that's one thing I feel like, especially us, especially millennials, Gen Zs, we are so focused on this end goal that we kind of forget to enjoy the journey. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely think that in my past I didn't really celebrate the small victories I definitely had. Maybe I play a little bit of sport, so victories don't really come, or highs don't really come much in sports. So it's definitely worth celebrating whilst it's there.
Exactly. But I guess what we learn from that is the fact that you need to celebrate your small victories, celebrate everything, because in this world that we live in, you always need a reason to be happy. So it's up to us as individuals, it's up to you as an individual to kind of find reasons to be happy, to find reasons to celebrate. And one thing that I've spoken about before on the show as well is I feel like, especially in today's day and age, we kind of delay enjoyment. We kind of delay, we say, oh, we'll enjoy during when we retire, we'll enjoy after I quit my job. Whereas no, that's not how life is supposed to function. That's not what life is meant to be. You need to enjoy today. So how do you do that? Okay, for me, Aaron, what I do to enjoy day by day is maybe make some time for myself, some self-care, maybe put in place a self-care routine. It could be, for some people, it could be a workout session. For some people, it could be a skincare session. Whatever it is, put some time in for yourself. And I think that is super important, to celebrate life and to enjoy little moments, or make time to go out with your friends, I guess. That's because that's possible now, and you need to make use of that situation and go out. Are you the type to what kind of person are you? I want to know, Aaron. Are you the sort to enjoy life with yourself, or are you more the going out sort, or what is it? Let me know.
Well, I think more recently I do like going out, enjoying what the UK has to offer. Obviously there's a lot of really nice restaurants and bars here, meeting up with my friends. I do really enjoy that. So, it's something I've missed out in the last year. So I'm making up for lost time.
Definitely go right ahead and do that. I'm like, for me, one beautiful thing in life is having friends, is having somebody to share life with. I'm sure everybody listening in would agree. Life is so much more beautiful when you have people to share with, and when you have people to love. So I guess the final point of, if you want to be happy, you need to tell people that you love them, because something that we kind of forget to do is, even though we know that we appreciate the existence of another person, we kind of forget to acknowledge it. Yeah, we kind of forget to tell people that we appreciate them. We forget to tell people that we love them. And I think within the span of this conversation, what we've learned is that life is super short. Life is unpredictable. So yeah, go ahead and tell people you love them, that you love them, and tell people that you appreciate the fact that they are in your life. I'm sure you agree with that, Aaron.
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely agree with that.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure everybody listening agrees as well. If you do, let us know. All you got to do is comment down below, because we would absolutely love for you to join in on the conversation. With that being said, Aaron and I are going to go in for a bit of a break, but make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relaks Radio. Welcome back to the show. I am Jamie, and we got Aaron on board. This is, of course, the chat wrap on Relax Radio. Hope you are having yourself an amazing Thursday so far. Very good morning if you're just waking up, and if you're just tuning in, welcome back to the show as well. Now, we are here with you 24/7, 365, giving you the best of conversation. Me and Aaron, of course, conduct this is called the chat wrap, where we trap you with the best of conversation, and we talk about entertainment news. We talk about inspiration, motivation, anything that you need to get going with your day. Now, that's not all what we talk about, because we have Tim coming up next, and he talks about technical news, business related everything, and we have a segment where we talk about politics and current affairs. Every single thing that you need to know, we keep you updated here at Relax Radio, which is why we want you to be connected. Okay, this is interactive radio, so if you want to be a part of the show, if you want to let us know what you're thinking, how your day is going, we would absolutely love to hear from you. Now, if you're listening to us on any of our live platforms, all you got to do is comment down below so that we can reply to you as soon as it goes. We got Tutul Fagan listening in. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. We got Andrew and Cameron, as always, tuning in as well. Big love going out to you guys, and thank you for being a part of the show. With that being said, Aaron, I know that you have something very interesting to talk about with regards to George Floyd.
Yes, Jamie, thanks for that. Yeah, so obviously, as many of you know, the 1 year anniversary of George Floyd's tragic death has approached. I don't know about you, Jamie, but that year has flown by.
Mm-mm. It most definitely has.
Yeah, so obviously during that time there has been a lot of music being released from various artists that have sparked used in the protests, etc. I actually went to one of the Black Lives Matters protests in Glasgow, and it was a very big eye opener in today's society, and the changes that have to be made. Just listening to some of the music, actually, you can really see the pain and the hardship that these people go through on a daily basis. Big artists as well, such as Little Baby, HER. They all are releasing music in very, very visual videos as well that show the hardship that these people go through on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, Aaron. And with what you said, I think music as a whole has been such a, what you said, important tool. I think a very effective tool to almost convey the message to people. Because I don't know about you, but for me, some of the favorite songs that I listen to with regards to the Black BLM movement was Beyonce's and Her. Their songs were so touching and it was so moving. It almost made me, like what you said, I absolutely agree. It kind of made me feel the pain that these people go through. And yeah, being a person of color, I think it was easy to relate to all of that, Beyonce and people like Her, like you said, Lil Baby was another one. And yeah, it was absolutely beautiful that they used this form of art to, in fact, convey their feelings and what they've been going through. And that definitely was as effective as it could possibly get.
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely agree with that, Jamie. Just on touching on that, Elijah Blake re-released one of her singles. I don't know if you have seen this. Re-released one of her singles, "Hanging Tree," which is actually a story about Eric Gardner, a young man of the African American community who was killed by police as well. That was re-released just after the George Floyd death as a promote of a message, more or less, to show that these people are people as well. They're the same as us. Skin tone shouldn't matter, and I think that's the message they're trying to portray.
Exactly. I actually didn't hear of the song that you told, but thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, I completely agree as well. I feel like, see, again, race, religion, all of these are social constructs. And I don't know about you, but I believe that all of us belong to one community. We all belong to the same race, and that race is humanity. And we should stop. I don't know. I find it super trivial and petty that people use things like skin color and belief to differentiate between each other. It's so immature. It's so petty, and I don't know. Like, I think these songs and the movement as a whole has been such an eye opener, like you said, and it has definitely had such a positive impact. And for me, the fact that one person's life, George Floyd, I feel like he was honored as much as possible. He definitely didn't deserve that, and he's just one of the people that had to undergo that. I don't know, but I read a few articles about police brutality, not just in the U.S. but around the world as well. In Europe, in Asia, police brutality is an actual thing, and it's so sad that. These stereotypes are applied to different communities, and that essentially labels you as a criminal. That's super sad to hear, but I'm so glad that we, being in the 21st century, in today's day and age, that people are actually, like what you said, you participated in a BLM protest, which is absolutely amazing. And I think for me, it kind of gave me hope, because seeing all of the protests and the movements and the marches and people speaking up and the younger generation posting stuff, using social media as a tool to fight this atrocity, seeing that essentially was so empowering, and it was so it gave me so much hope. And I think that just goes to show that there is good in this world, that there is most definitely people that are good, that people that want to be united, want to be together. And yeah, we just need to spread the message as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely, Jamie. I definitely want to echo just what you said there, touching on people using their social media as a tool. Just going back to the artists, they are using their platforms as a tool, essentially. You know, world-renowned artists such as Little Baby, Elijah Blake, these people have millions and millions of followers on social media platforms, Spotify, and they're using that to spread the word that needs to be spread in today's society. It's a shame that this has to be done. However, if it promotes a good message, then I definitely think it's the right way to go.
For sure, absolutely. And okay, let's talk to our listeners. Let's talk to people listening in about what we as individuals, obviously we're not celebrities, but what we as individuals can do to support this anti-racist wave that is happening around the world. And I think, okay, in my opinion, the first thing that we as individuals can do is to believe that we have power to change, no matter how much influence you have. I think everybody needs to acknowledge the fact that you have power to create substantial change. And once you acknowledge it, I think the most important thing is to teach our children. You don't have to be a parent of a child, it doesn't have to be like that, but set a good example. All of us associate children, all of us associate the younger generation. And I think it's so important to inculcate this message of respect. Respecting people despite their gender. That respect doesn't have to be based on skin color or what language you speak. This kind of messages need to be conveyed on a very early age in life. And even to adults these days, a lot of people aren't aware of the situation. A lot of people aren't aware that people deserve respect. So what we need to do with the little power that we have, first of all, we need to acknowledge that even a little impact that we can make can go a huge way. And secondly, we need to start teaching other people the importance of respect. And I don't just mean with regards to race, I mean with gender. Respect. Everybody deserves respect, despite of their social class, like I told you before, despite of their gender, despite of their race. And this is a message that I feel like we need to communicate to people. And if we do that, I believe that we kind of contribute to this wave that is going around in the world.
Yeah, most definitely, Jamie. I am part of actually a community. As I did mention earlier, I do play a lot of sport, and I am a brand ambassador for Rugby Against Racism. So the movement is that they actually promote the fairness of the game, and a lot of people are following that. Just going back to what I've said before, I had a conversation with my partner yesterday night on fairness and gender bias and ethnicity groups, and I just want to get your opinion on something, Jamie. So we were just talking about. Do you think names and ages and gender should be on your CV when promoting a job?
See, that's the other thing. That's a very good question. I've actually had this conversation with a lot of people as well with regards to birth certificates, with other documents. Is it necessary to have your race, your religion? Is it necessary? Are those necessary identifications of a person? Whereas I don't really think so. Especially with regards to race and religion, I understand that gender is required in certain instances. And again, I want to remind people listening in that gender is something that you can formulate. So I am all for people, identifying by the gender that they want to be identified, as opposed to what society kind of trust on them, if that makes any sense to you. So one thing that I always tell people, especially that I associate, is with regards to gender, ask people the pronouns that they want to be addressed with. So that's always something that's absolutely essential, especially in the day and age that we live in. But that's a whole different other conversation. But going back to the question that you asked me, I definitely think that things like race and religion, having it in official documentation, can be problematic, because that kind of, we still live in a world where people look at you. There are certain people that look at you based on your race, and as opposed to you making an impression based on your personality, people tend to create an image of you based on your race and your religion, whereas that is absolutely problematic, and it's absolutely not correct as well. So in that case, I agree with the fact that official documentation does not require things like race and religion, because it can lead to complications, to say the least.
Yeah, I definitely think it can lead to profiling as well. If you do have a name that isn't familiar in the UK, for example, it's going to cause a little bit of profiling for example, job applications and things like that. Or if you've got a female name, it's going to cause things like the gender pay gap to be very relevant there. So I think it's something to be thought about going forward, definitely.
Exactly. I completely agree with you. So we have a lot of people listening in on multiple platforms. We would love to know what you think. Do you agree with what you're saying? Do you believe that having things like your race and gender and religion can lead to profiling, especially when it comes to official documentation? What do you think? Do you think that music has been a tool to promote anti-racist concepts and ideologies? What do you think? We'd absolutely love to hear from you. So please don't feel shy to connect with us. We love to hear your thoughts and your opinions. Even if you have a different opinion, that's absolutely fine. We know that there are people out there with different opinions. It's okay. Just let us know, because we'd love to hear from you. Now, with that being said, Aaron, I think we need to go for a little break, but make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. Welcome back to the show. I am Jamie, and we got Aaron on a board as well. This is, of course, the chat wrap on Relax Radio. Now, we at Relax Radio, we're spelt without the X in Relax because we are all about positivity. We're all about making sure that you are filled with positive energy so that you can be as productive as possible all throughout the day. Now, Aaron and I have been actually having some very great conversation. We spoke about the anniversary of George Floyd, and we tackled a lot of very serious topics in the past couple minutes. And we do have a lot more great content in store for you. So I want to remind you to make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. Now, before we get into the next topic of discussion, I want to remind you that this is interactive radio. This is about hearing your thoughts, hearing your opinions. We would absolutely love to know what you are thinking. So go right ahead and comment down below if you're listening to us on any of our lives, or you could very simply call us up on 0782 852 473. Now, with that being said, I want to quickly remind you also to check us out on our social media platforms, that is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We go as Relax Radio, and you can check us out and be updated about every single thing that is going on here at Relax Radio, because we are a fun bunch, okay? And we do a lot of interesting things. So you can check that all out on our social media. Now, with that being said, Aaron, I want to talk about TV series for a second. Okay, we've been talking about some very serious conversations, but just I want to calm it down for a bit and talk about TV series. Now, the reason I thought we'd talk about TV series is because the Friends reunion. Are you a Friends fan, Aaron?
Most definitely a Friends fan. I love watching it since it's come on air in the UK, and I think I've watched pretty much every episode. I don't know about you,
Wow.
Jamie.
Same. I'm a fan of Friends as well. But, and I know people are not going to like this, I obviously do love Friends, but I'm not the biggest fan, just because I am more of a true crime, psychological thriller sort of girl. So Friends for me is, if I have absolutely nothing else. I know people are going to hate me for saying this because people absolutely adore Friends, but it's not that I hate it. It's just that there are things that I like more, right? But with that being said, I absolutely love a Friends episode. If you just want to have some good laugh, if you just want to relax, I think Friends, The Office, those are some of the classic TV series to go to. But speaking of Friends, Aaron, something very special happened because recently Friends, a reunion happened where they filmed a reunion and they released it a few weeks back, and it is hugely popular, not just in the US, but in the UK and around the world as well. And it was one of the most, I'd say, anticipated TV reunions that has ever been expected, because everybody was going so crazy over the fact that the reunion was coming. And I think it's because it had a very nostalgic element, because a lot of us grew up with Friends. A lot of people out there, especially, it started in the 1990s and it continued till 2004, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of people grew up with Friends. So to see the cast back together, to see them back in their old set, it was very nostalgic. And a lot of people loved that. And that's why I think it was widely enjoyed by groups of people. Did you get to watch the reunion yet, Aaron?
I've not yet watched the reunion, and I'm going to watch it definitely, because there's going to be so many things that they're just going to relive in all the episodes. They're gonna open up a chest of drawers, a chest of memories. In fact, just with filming the series, it's made them also popular in today's TV, isn't it? So they've all taken their own separate paths in today's life and in their own careers, but it's nice to see them come back to where it all started.
Exactly. And I actually didn't watch the reunion as of yet as well, but I did get to see bits and pieces of it. And I'm not going to spoil it for any of y'all, but there were such amazing games, trivia games the cast did with each other. And they spoke of, behind the scenes activities that they did to keep themselves occupied. And I think for me, the best watching the reunion was seeing how close the cast is together with each other, because, they speak of how, they spent a lot of time together filming a 10-year-long series, and they've almost grown to be each other's siblings that they never had, sort of. And it was so, I don't know what, it just, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Friends, seeing that just made me happy, and I think that is what a lot of people felt out there when they watched the reunion.
Yeah, it's just such a light-hearted TV series to watch. I mean, it's definitely, if there's nothing else on TV, there's definitely Friends on. So that's one thing I would like to just curl up and just watch the box set again. I'm just happy it's on Netflix now. I can rewatch the full series again.
Exactly. For me, one of the most luxurious things in life is to have a good plate of food or some good snacks and just binge watch a TV series that I like. As unhealthy as that may sound, for me, it is one of the most luxurious things in life to just enjoy some good food and sit with your maybe laptop or in your TV watching some good TV series. That is happiness right there. That's luxury. That is happiness.
I couldn't agree more, Jamie. As I mentioned before, I'm quite a laid-back person, so I'm probably the same. I'll probably have to start a new series though, but it'll probably come back to Friends one way or another.
All right. What are the other TV series? Now that we've spoken of Friends quite a lot, what are the other TV series that you enjoy? Because for me, I think it's again very US centered for me personally. But one thing that I absolutely love is Modern Family. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but Modern Family for me is yet again another light-hearted. If you don't want to think about anything too much, and if you just want to relax, and Modern Family is absolutely hilarious in my opinion. The Office obviously is yet another great TV series. What do you think? What are the other TV series that you constantly tend to binge watch?
Well, do you know what? I actually go towards more of the lengthier series on Netflix. I kind of like watching just like a storyline unfold over a certain seasons. So I've watched all of them that really interest me in the way of a thriller or something like that. I like to watch Power, Breaking Bad. I've
Oh,
watched all them. I also, they're all US based, but Peaky Blinders, obviously in the
my
UK,
goodness.
that was a great watch.
Peaky Blinders. That I don't know. Okay, that's the other thing, right? I told you I'm not the biggest fan of Friends. It's because I am more of a, I need like you said, I need to have like a story unfold almost, and I love it when there's history involved, when there is so much like context information for me. And Peaky Blinders, it was kind of slow. To be fair, I'm not going to like my love for Peaky Blinders like make me blind towards the fact that it was very slow in like unraveling the movie, to be fair. But oh my goodness, the set, the acting, oof, it was on another level in my opinion. Peaky Blinders is definitely one of the good ones out there. And yeah, for me it's always true crime documentaries. I love learning about like the mentalities of, or what went in the minds of like a murderer or a criminal. And it's amazing to watch the story unfold, like you said. Yeah, so true crime is my personal go-to for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like again coming back. I keep thinking this is a recurring theme. Again, I am very lazy, so we were watching Money Heist. I don't know if you actually have heard of it. Money Heist. It's
Watch.
it's in Spanish. I just when I'm watching TV, I like to have, like you said, a plate of food. I don't like to put in much work. I just like to watch and not have to read. So I put the English version on, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was really good.
Okay, so that's where I gotta disagree with you just a little bit, okay? I am the biggest fan of TV series in other languages. Like, I cannot tell you enough. I've probably watched all of the French TV series on Netflix. That's like Arsène Lupin to I can't remember the other. It was like a soap sort of situation. Anyway, yeah, I've watched so many French TV series and Spanish, and for me, it's more of learning about other cultures as well. I love to know how other people live and how, like a day of a person in France or a day of a person in Spain or Asia. There were so many great Indian TV series as well. So it's almost as if you're not just enjoying, but you're also learning about the life of somebody else. And that's why I think movies and TV series are absolutely great in that sort of sense, right? It kind of teaches you how other people live, and that makes you a more accepting person. Does that make sense? like it makes you more aware of the cultural diversity that exists in the world. And movies and TV series have definitely helped me be a global citizen, be more accepting of different cultures out there.
Yeah, definitely, Jamie. I don't know about you, but I've definitely seen lots and lots of places I'd like to visit just through movies and TV shows. You mentioned the TV program Lupin. We actually watched that as well. I loved that. That was fantastic. I can't wait for the new series to come out.
Oh, I cannot wait for the new season as well. I'm so excited. That was such a cliffhanger. Even Money Heist was such a cliffhanger. And yeah, I'm excited for the next season to come out. But with that being said, we'd absolutely love to know what you love to watch. Let us know. Do you agree with anything we said? Do you agree with any of our favorite TV series? We'd love to know what you like to watch. We'd love to know what your go-to TV series is. Do you binge watch TV series? Are you guilty of binge watching TV series like us? Well, it's nothing to be embarrassed of as long as you get all of your day-to-day activity done, and as long as you don't let that infringe your day-to-day activity, I think it's perfectly fine to binge watch a couple of Netflix series. Oh wait, saying that, I just want to go back to a few series. Stranger Things, what did you think?
Stranger Things. I've not
Did you get
actually
to
got
watch
to watch that one, but my
it?
partner has, and she loves it. Now, I'm quite guilty of sticking to the same series, and it's so strange. I like to rewatch things over and over again. But
Okay.
it's so strange. But yeah, I need to really venture out and watch something new. I think definitely.
Yeah, I think you should do that also, but I completely get wanting to like rewatch TV series that you're comfortable with. Yeah, it's so comfortable, and it's so, I don't know, like you said, it's very nostalgic to watch TV series that you've watched already. But with regards to Stranger Things, I watched it just because of the hype, I think, because there were so many people that were dying over it when it came out, and I just got to watch it recently. And I have this thing, Aaron, where when a lot of people are like, "Oh my goodness, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good," my mind automatically thinks of it as overrated, and I kind of tend to enjoy it. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, there's nothing worse than when someone overhypes something, and it's a bit of a letdown, isn't it? Could you just remind the viewers what Stranger Things is actually about? What was that series
Okay,
about?
so Stranger Things is about, it has a lot of alien activity. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but Stranger Things it's about it's very scientific. It's like a scientific thriller. It has a lot of, not aliens, but from different universes, from different parallel universes, to say the least. And it's about a group of children in a village, them trying to like fight off this other species, I would say. And yeah, it kind of lacked that depth for me, but I completely know that there's so many of you out there who absolutely love Stranger Things. And the cast, oh, one thing I need to say though, the cast was absolutely amazing. Millie Bobby Brown, I don't know if you know her, she acts as 11 in the TV series, and she is amazing. I can't imagine. So all those children are about 12, 10 to 12 years old, and they do such a fantastic job with the acting. They're amazing. So if not anything, you should definitely watch Stranger Things to experience good acting, because I think they did an absolutely amazing job. And yeah, Stranger Things. Have you? There's this other TV series. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, it's You. Have you watched it? I think it's on Netflix.
What was that one about again?
Okay, so that's about You is essentially about a stalker. This guy is like a sociopath, and he kind of tends to stalk girls. And again, I don't know if it's the best TV series, but I
Yeah.
loved it just because of, like, it's insane. Like it will for sure blow your mind as to how crazy some people can be, and he does it so smoothly. He makes girls fall for him, and then he does the craziest things. So yeah, definitely You is another thing that if you guys, everybody listening in, if you haven't watched also, that is another TV series that you are most definitely going to binge watch. Yeah, I think we've shared a lot of TV series for the benefit of everybody listening in.
No, definitely. I've got such a guilty conscience talking about TV series because do you know what? I end up watching it after such a long day of activities and doing things, and I've actually not started watching anything only down to the reason because I always fall asleep when I'm watching something, and it's so bad. I fall asleep and then I wake up in the middle of the night, and it's it's like season 5. I'm like, what's going on? So it's so bad. I need to stop doing that, but that's one thing I need to get myself in check for.
Okay, but if you fall asleep while the series is playing, then it's not such a great series, huh?
Well, no, I am the worst. I can sleep anywhere. I can sleep anywhere.
Oh,
You name it, I can sleep. So I'm the worst for that. So I can watch a good TV series in bed, but I'll be asleep by 20 minutes in.
yeah, no. I get you. I get you. Sleep is as equal of a luxury as anything else. It's something I can't afford right now because I've got so much going on. But oh my goodness, just sleeping in and having a good 8 hours of sleep is definitely a luxury.
Definitely.
All right, with that being said, I think we've spoken about quite a lot of things, and we want to say thank you to everybody that's with us so far. I am Jamie, and we got Aaron as well, and we've been talking about a lot of things, and we hope you are enjoying the conversation. We hope, everybody needs a good conversation. Everybody needs that interaction. Everybody needs to just have a good conversation, and that is what we are here for. That is what we are here for 24/7, 365. So, make sure that you tune in, make sure that you check us out on our social media. With that being said, let's take a little break, but make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. back to the show. I am Jamie, and this is, of course, the Chat Wrap on Relax Radio.
Hi there to all our listeners here on Relax Radio. If you would like to join us live or call in on 07852 473 473, we'd love to chat to you whilst on the radio show today. So, Jamie, I'm just going to go on to another light-hearted topic, if you don't mind, and ask you, do you know what your name actually means?
Yeah, no, I don't think I know what my name means. All I know is my parents thought it sounded good or attractive, and they decided to name me, and I had absolutely no say in it. But yeah, I think I don't know what my name stands for. But good point. I need to find out.
I did it for you on the break, actually. So,
Wow.
so it actually means you're a bubbly person. You don't share your feelings as much. Is that correct? You keep them in
That's actually pretty accurate. Yeah. Yeah.
So, so my name, Aaron, is spelled with a double Aron, which is actually Hebrew. And if many of our listeners actually know, Jesus' first disciple was Hebrew, and his name was Aaron. Also, the name Aaron comes from the meaning of mountains, and as a sturdy, strong mountain. So you can kind of explain myself as a sturdy, strong mountain, but we'll move on swiftly from that. I just wanted to talk about celebrities and their names and how does people's names factor where they are just now. So I'll give you an example. The Kardashians, for example, they're mega superstars in the USA, just with their TV shows, scandals. Obviously, people in their family are now billionaires just due to their businesses. Do you think Kardashians have risen just from their name?
Okay, so here's what I think, right? Their name for sure is a part of their brand. But I feel like they did a lot to create that brand from the get-go. So when they did create their show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the name definitely helped. It helped a lot that all of the sisters, everybody in that family is named with a K, and that essentially helped to build the brand per se, if that makes any sense. And I think Kris Jenner, who I believe a lot of people have a lot of things to say about the Kardashians, but I think that they can be really vain sometimes. But we need to give them credit for being able to build a brand of themselves. Right. I think Kris Jenner is one of the smartest entrepreneurs out there. She raised her entire family they basically came from nothing. They were basically an Armenian mixed US family, and she just cultivated their family to be as big as it is today. And I definitely think they used their name to further their brand, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just going back to the point of TV shows, I don't know if you've actually seen the O.J. Simpson TV series on Netflix. The Kardashians actually feature in that series. So, if you actually watch the first episode, nobody knows who the Kardashians are until Rob Kardashian takes on the case that the whole world is watching, and that causes them, makes them come on the scene on the first instance. But then, as you say, Kris Jenner, such an entrepreneur. She saw the scandals that were coming out on her family, and she said, "You know what? Let the news corporations have it. Let the paparazzi have it, because all publicity is good publicity in her eyes." And look where it's got her now.
Exactly. And I don't know, sir. I had so many different opinions as well, because in my opinion, how the Kardashians got famous with regards to the Hollywood scene was with Kim Kardashian scandal. I don't remember which one it is, but I remember there was a huge scandal. I think it was it was a huge scandal, and everybody was talking about it. And yeah, what's crazy is that Kris Jenner, along with her children, she used it as leverage almost to get people to know their name. And now they're probably Kylie Jenner is one of the richest she's the richest or the youngest billionaire in the world. So that's absolutely amazing. They just took the opportunity. They grabbed the opportunity that that came forward and they used it, and they used their name. The name was in fact extremely powerful in terms of, furthering their brand, like I told you before. And yeah, I think the Kardashians, the name in itself, I don't think there's any, or majority of the people in this world are familiar with the Kardashians, even if you keep up with the Western world or not, and that essentially is an achievement that they need to get credit for.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was actually going to give you a question, Jamie. So I don't know if you're familiar with TED Talks on YouTube or on Spotify. I love listening to them. They're
Yeah.
so interesting and so informative. So I was listening to a young man on TED Talks, and he was speaking on foreign exchange students. I don't really agree with calling them foreign exchange students because everyone is the same, is equal in our eyes here at Relax Radio. And I was just going to explain to you, foreign people that come over for educational purposes, do you think it's right that the UK, or say as example, find it difficult to kind of, understand people's names if they're quite different from what the society here is used to?
Okay, so that's actually a very, very interesting point. I'm actually a student in a foreign university as well. And I think what happens is, for me, my name is a very general name, to say the least. It's not culture based, it's not race based, if that's a thing. But yeah, it's a very general name, to say the least. But I know that there are a lot of students out there who do face difficulties with regards to their names, especially in the Western world. And one thing that I've noticed, a trend with a lot of foreign exchange students, is that they alter their name, or they recreate their name for the benefit of other people, which I think is actually quite sad, to say the least. Your name is, I don't know if it's a part of your identity, but it definitely is a big part of who you are. And having to alter your name for the benefit of somebody else is kind of sad, to say the least. It's kind of, it shouldn't happen. And I think people in general, no matter where you are in the world, your name also showcases a lot of your background, because it's named by your parents, and that's a lot of family history. And I think a lot of people need to start respecting and trying their best to maybe pronounce their names properly, or just ask if it's. I know that there are a lot of names out there, especially that there's a lot of names that are non-Western that are a little hard for us to say pronounce. Maybe you could ask them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with asking people multiple times about the correct way to pronounce their name, because like I said, people shouldn't feel obligated to alter their name for the benefit of the community, for the European community. And yeah, we need to make an effort to actually understand what their name means, and acknowledge that, and try to pronounce it properly, and give them that kind of respect, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Jamie. I think that, with times are just now, we need to make an effort to kind of, make people feel welcome in our society, especially in the UK. So there's so many opportunities for people to do their homework and learn people's cultures, as you said before. There's so many times my friends that have unfamiliar names to people in the UK, they take it upon themselves to shorten it, and it's not very nice for my friends or whoever it is in that instance that have names that aren't familiar in the UK. But I definitely think it does identify somebody. Your name is personal to yourself, and that's your name, that's yours. That's no one can take that away from you.
Absolutely, absolutely true, Aaron. And yeah, I think you need to be proud of your name. But with that being said, that actually draws me to kind of a contradicting point of view, right? I know people personally that don't want to be associated with their family history, or they don't want to be associated with the name that their parents gave them. And I know a lot of people that have chosen to name themselves, come up with a name that they are comfortable with, which I think again is perfectly fine. Again, it's about you feeling comfortable in your own skin, and a big part of that is being comfortable with the name that people call you. So it's fine if you decide to change your name, whatever it is. parent given name, or a name that you create for yourself. And I think it's absolutely essential that we learn to respect people for for their name, and make an effort to actually learn the actual pronunciation. And if we don't understand, maybe ask multiple times. That's okay. Ask people if you can't pronounce their names, instead of altering it and butchering it, in my opinion. It's always respectful to ask people how to pronounce their name, maybe what it means. That could definitely be a good conversation starter, because there are so many people with different names, and it can be interesting conversation for sure.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to respect, and respecting the individuals. What they like, what they would like to happen going forward. If they don't want to be associated with a name, then we should appreciate that and we should respect that. Just going back to the TED Talk section, I was listening to a young man, and he said when he was younger, he was bullied at school just because of his name, because it's a longer name. It was an African kind of name, and it was a little bit unheard of from the UK standpoint. And he was bullied as a young child, and obviously that saddened him. He came back to his mother and said, "I want to change my name. I don't like my name." And she explained to him the roots where his name became, and where his name originated from. And he felt so heartwarmed to learn the information and educated on where his name comes from, that he kept it, and he is to this day thankful that he stuck with that decision.
Oh, that's such a beautiful story, and that just again goes to solidify what we've been talking about all this time. Your name, it's a lot. I don't know if it shapes a personality, but it is a big part of a person's personality. So I just want to say, if you live in the UK, or wherever you live, or if you're a Western person, or if you're from the UK and you go somewhere else, help people understand the value of your name. Help people understand the context that it comes from, and help people respect you, basically. Because a lot of us, we especially, okay, I've met people who are very rude in terms of, like, not some people may have trouble pronouncing a name that we've never heard before. That's just a human thing. So it's up to us as well to help other people understand the value of our name, and understand the importance of pronouncing it properly, or just sounding it properly, or whatever. And yeah, that's just something that we all learned today. And I want to say, if you have any questions with regard to this, if you agree with us, please do let us know. Actually, Aaron, we do have Samad Chowdhury listening in. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. It's such a pleasure to have you on board. Now, like him, he says hello. Let me just put it up. A big hello out to you as well. Now, like that, if you want to say hi to us, if you want to connect with us, all you got to do is comment down below in the comment section, and we can share the comment live, and we could have a good conversation. With that being said, Aaron, I think it's about time that we take a little break, but I want to remind everybody to make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. on everything.
Oh, you're live.
welcome back to the show. This is the Chat Up on a Relax Radio. Hope you are having yourself an amazing day so far. It is a beautiful day out there. And I just want to remind you, together with Aaron, to, have the best time, okay? Make sure that you make use of today. Make sure that you be as productive as you want to be, and make sure that you make the most of today, because like we started off the show, okay, you never know what's in store for you tomorrow. And the only thing that you can do is make the absolute best of today. Now, with that being said, Aaron has something interesting to talk about. But actually, Aaron, before we get into that, I do want to remind everybody listening in that you could be a part of this journey with us at Relax Radio. And all you got to do is check us out on our social media to be a part of the journey, okay? That is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We go as Relax Radio. Do show us some love on all of the platforms so that you can be with us along the way. Now, with that being said, if you also want to talk to us, have a join in on the conversation and have a little conversation with us, all you got to do is comment down below. Comment, let me know what's going on, because we would absolutely love to hear from you.
Hi there. Yeah, thanks, Jamie, for that. So I was just going to talk about the joint custody of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt over their kids. I don't know if you've seen that. They're 6 lovely kids that they have adopted to give a better life to. It's good to see that they've got joint custody now of all the kids, and they can kind of experience life on a different level now. Understand, breakups can be hard for children, especially in a young family such as theirs. But I definitely think mental health now is something that we need to really talk about, and definitely over the pandemic is something that's affected a lot of people in the UK. So getting joint custody of children, such as this couple have, it's really good, and not just famous couples, but couples all over the UK. What's your thoughts on that, Jamie?
I absolutely think that is true. Speaking of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, to be for a second, actually, I know that Brad Pitt had a really rough couple past months, if I'm not mistaken, because as soon as he, as a result of the divorce, I think he did get back into, he got back into some of his old bad habits, and Angelina Jolie spoke about it, but he has been getting sober. And I read this interview where he said that a big part of his journey to becoming sober, becoming clean, becoming healthy had to do with the kids, had to do with getting to see the children again. And that, I think, is absolutely amazing. Children, especially for a parent, if you are somebody that is involved in children, I absolutely think that seeing your children or being able to associate them, if it's healthy for both parties, obviously, in that case, it can have a huge positive impact on everybody, or everybody involved, the children, the parents, mentally as well. So yes, I think it's very important, like you said, Aaron, I think it's very important to speak about the mental health, especially of parents, and especially in the UK. I think a lot of parents that go through a rough time mentally are young parents. They've got to juggle children, they've got to juggle a personal life, especially if they're separated, they've got a social life to handle as well. And yeah, I think we need to have more conversation about this kind of thing, so that parents could feel that they are being understood as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes back to that point of learning and getting brought up to have the best possible life you can. And these kids started off in a very rough patch, being orphans and then being picked up by this Hollywood couple. It's a different change of scenery for them, and it's going to take time to adapt as a family, such as this. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for the couple. However, Angelina did come out and say that it was for the well-being of the family. So it's good to see that she's got the heart of the kids in mind, and wanting to give them the best life that she possibly can. Definitely think that having 2 parents and having joint custody is a positive for the kids, just to learn different things, different aspects that one parent can maybe offer that the other can. I've definitely learned skills from my parents. I can only speak on myself. I've learned a lot of different skills in regards to from my father, and my different skills from my mother, and I definitely think that's a positive.
Definitely, I absolutely agree with you. I think it is a positive, and I'm glad that these children have the opportunity of having their father as well. I also want to add to that, it definitely can't be easy being the children of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. You know, everywhere they go, the life of theirs is definitely different to mine or yours or anybody listening in, because I've actually read a few articles about the children of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, how they're restricted in using social media. They're restricted in browsing the internet because, according to Angelina Jolie, she doesn't want her children to come across a lot of tabloids or a lot of negative rumors that go around regarding their parents. So she says it's the best for the children, and she says it's sad that they can't live a normal life, but she's doing whatever she can, along with Brad Pitt, to give them a life as normal as possible, which I think is absolutely amazing. But Aaron, I did want to ask you your opinion for a second about this issue about parenting as a whole. Definitely, being a parent in the 21st century cannot be easy, and it's not something that you and I know anything about. But having associated, I definitely do have friends who are young mothers, who are young parents, who are young fathers, and it's definitely not easy for all parents in the 21st century, because the social media, and children are more digitally inclined today than 10 years ago, and there's so many different things to protect children from. So what do you think your take is on, I think, growing up shielding, where parents don't really tell you about certain things, was a trend, but now I've seen so many positive posts on social media, especially about parents teaching their children, even as soon as they can talk and understand, teaching the necessity of consent. I actually saw a video where this mother was teaching her son the importance of consent from a very young age, and it was absolutely beautiful to see young people using their knowledge of the world when they're bringing up their children. So there's definitely positives, but there's negatives as well. But what is your opinion, Aaron? I would love to know.
Yeah, I do think that unfortunately there is parts of the world that are, very, something we need to be aware of as young people. And there's definitely things I personally am still learning today on social media, the dangers of social media, the dangers of exposure to the world. People forget that social media is such a big platform that anyone can get any information from there. So as a young child, to grasp that is going to be very, very difficult. I definitely think there should be restrictions on social media platforms. Maybe put the age limit up a little bit just to keep safe the population, the younger population. I don't know about you, Jamie, but I had a Facebook account at a very young age, and it was fairly easy to get past that. And luckily enough for me, I didn't run into any terrible things or get involved in anything, but for some people they do then, and it leads them down the wrong path. And I definitely think as a parent this should be taught from a very young age, that stay young as much as possible, stay wrapped up in your family as much as possible, and educated in certain things, because the world is a little bit scary at times. And until you're educated, then you can take on your own roles.
Absolutely. I think that's the most important thing that we need to talk about. This idea of educating children, and I feel like back like 10 years ago, educating children would be limited to math and history and science or whatever they teach in school. But parents today have such a huge responsibility to teach children that things that go beyond the textbook, like what you said, teaching children about social media, because it's not something that we can stop, right? There's only so much that we can restrict children from using social media or whatever. But I think what's most important is to educate children, from a young age. Teach them about the harms of social media, how extremely scary social media can be. Yes, it's a good place to be. Yes, it's a good platform to share your voice, to make your voice be heard. But I honestly have heard of so many stories of stalking, of perverted activity, where older people kind of become predators of younger children, and these are things that children need to be made aware of. And I feel like problem, I don't know, Aaron, I don't know if you see this the same way as I do, but I think a problem in today's society, especially with parents that don't want to educate their children about this, is that they're afraid that their children are going to be traumatized by hearing these stories of what has happened to other people. But I actually have a very different opinion, right? I don't know if I'm wrong. Again, I don't have children. I have absolutely no experience in that field, but this is just what I think. And I could be wrong for all that I know. But I think it's absolutely important to stop shielding children and actually tell them as it is. Because how are they ever going to know the danger of the real world if they're not made aware of the real situation? Like, does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, absolutely, and I do agree with you in parts of that. I do think that parents today, and this may be taken the wrong way, but they have too much pride, and they're scared to kind of educate their children on sensitive topics that may be shied away from in a family atmosphere. I do think that it's something that needs to be addressed, and definitely addressed quick, because these people are growing up in a technological area that me and yourself haven't been. I missed the days where we could, run around and play in the streets with your friends and all the rest of it. But the rise of social media has really distorted that for the younger generation. And I've got younger siblings that have been brought up with an iPad in their hands and social media accounts, and it's scary.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that a lot of people listening in would agree with literally everything because those are more facts than opinions. And yeah, it's absolutely true that children are growing up with social media. And I think the main takeaway from this conversation is the importance of educating children about the actual harms of the real world so that they would be aware, and that would inherently, make them want to be as careful as possible when using social media.
Absolutely, yes. There is dangers in the world, but I would say the majority of people are on your side, and the world isn't as such a bad place as we're making it out. There is good people in the world, and I definitely think having a positive outlook on things, and keeping a happy face can really go a long way. But definitely looking into the dangers, I would be cautious on certain things such as social media and things like that. But apart from that, we can take some positives away from that, and be well educated on the dangers that face us in the UK.
Yeah, okay, I agree with you so much there. I feel like with what I've been saying in the past few minutes, I would have given a very negative outlook on social media. That's not true. I really do think social media is an amazing platform for us to connect, especially with like the pandemic. Those are not things I would love to go out and play on the streets with other children, but that's not a possibility for so many children today because of the pandemic, because of issues like that. And social media definitely has come to the rescue in that aspects of children being mentally healthy in terms of having friends and being able to connect to their friends through social media. And I definitely think that is why social media is necessary. But like you said, everything in every aspect of life, there is always a positive and a negative. And what's important is that we kind of grab the positive and eliminate the negative. So I think it's the same when it comes to social media as well. Now, with that being said, this has been quite a long conversation. What do you think, Karen? Let's go for a little break and come back in a little bit.
Good morning and welcome back to the show. This is Chat Trap on Relaks Radio, and we're here keeping you company and giving you good conversation, that that information and inspiration, something that keeps us going. Isn't that right, Jamie? Just keeping us going for our listeners here today. If after that you can make sure you join us on the conversation by commenting, and if you're listening live to us, call us on 07852 473 473. So, Jamie, I was just going to go on to the topic for our listeners. Can you program your brain to think of genius solutions? For me personally, I think yes, you definitely can. And I'm going to go back to the topic of TED Talks. I absolutely love TED Talks. They're so informative for people like myself. I just love listening to them in the car or when I'm just about to go to bed. It's just something lighthearted and educational at the same time. I was listening to a professor yesterday from the University of Harvard, and he was speaking on, the things that can benefit us into becoming the best version of yourself. And I think that's definitely something beneficial for our listeners today. So going back to the fact of the technological era that we face today, the professor himself actually put him through an experiment, a self-done experiment, where he put himself in the situation of using his mobile phone for only 30 minutes per day. Now, the aim of the role was he would focus on himself and actually give himself more self-care than he normally would. I don't know about yourself, Jamie, but the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is all of a sudden look at my phone and look on social media, and I'll put my hands up. I'm very guilty of that. It's a terrible habit that I need to just get rid of. It's just something I've done for the past, I don't know, five years or so. But in the
I
end, of course, yeah. In the end, this professor from Harvard found that he discovered himself in all different levels, and he trained his brain to become the best version of himself, and therefore perform better in, giving lectures to the future, or even giving podcasts like we're doing just now. So I definitely think, as for our listeners, cutting out those bad habits and giving yourself more self-love is definitely something we need to do. What do you think, Jamie?
I absolutely agree with you. Like, I don't know, everything you said is absolutely true. I agree with you, and I do a very bad habit is be on my phone. And when you said that professor made it a point to be on his phone for only 30 minutes a day, that almost sounds impossible to me. Like, I don't know how anybody can use their phone for just 30 minutes, because it's constantly something that I'm interacting with. Especially with the pandemic, I feel like that just made me use my device so much more. But yeah, I agree. When you wake up in the morning and you look at social media, there's so much of negativity with regards to news that goes on with regards to drama that is created on social media, and it kind of has a negative impact on your entire day. When you scroll through social media, or you use your phone for the first thing in the morning. And yeah, I agree with you, everybody needs to have a few minutes for themselves as soon as they wake up. And one thing that I try to do, again, it's an attempt, which means I am not 100% successful, but one thing that I do on a daily basis is try to I'm blessed enough to have a little a balcony of sort where I could see outside, and I have a cute little garden there. So one thing that I try to do as soon as I wake up is to just go outside. Grab myself a cup of coffee, a good cup of coffee, and just go outside. Keep my phone away for a couple of minutes, for about 10 minutes or so, and just look outside, or just connect with my thoughts. And I know that sounds pretty cliche, and it sounds like something a yoga guru would say. And I probably laughed at it the first time I heard that. My friend actually suggested I do it. And when I did hear her say it, I was like, oh, there's no way that's going to work. I'm going to get bored. And yeah, that just sounds ridiculous. But from experience, from the few days that I do it, it just calms your mind, and it's almost a few minutes away from the hustle and bustle of daily life, and you get to appreciate the fact that you woke up today, and the fact that you know you are able to have a good life, and I think that is important. So if you are looking, if people listening in, if you're looking to do something like what Aaron said, that's definitely one thing that you can do.
Yeah, definitely. And just echoing your points, Jamie, I think there's so many different ways of training your body to become the best version of yourself, as well as your brain. Your brain's the biggest tool you can use in your daily life. And definitely part of the pandemic is being from a person that loves to go abroad and experience the world. I found so many hidden gems in the UK, and there's so many nice sites to explore, and not be glued to your phone. I mean, it's so difficult to do. I personally have um, a time limit on my phone, on the social media aspect of things, and I try and limit it to maybe 1 hour a day. I got a little bit of a shock. I don't know about you, Jamie, but I got a little bit of a shock when I saw my screen time on my phone, and it's really bad. I'm not going to share with you how much it is, but it's really really bad. Honestly, it seems like I'm never off it, but yeah, just going back on the point of training your brain, I think definitely a good way of training your body is by eating good foods. And I just want to go on to the point of eating the superfoods. Many of our listeners may know some superfoods, but I'll give you a couple as an example. Fish, ginger, avocado. These are three things that I love to eat on my usual day. And I definitely think that these are sort of things that train your brain and muscle your brain to become the best version of yourself. What do you think, Jamie? What's your favorite foods to eat?
I absolutely agree with you. And with regards to superfoods, that's another thing that I want to touch on for a second. That's a very interesting point that you brought out. One way to train, I think it's also a lot about discipline. You've spoken about being the best version of yourself and becoming the best version of yourself, even if it's limiting social media, limiting your negative habits, and getting into more positive lifestyles, require a lot of discipline. And I feel like that journey to try to eat healthy or try to work out or try to stay off your phone, that kind of inculcates discipline in you. And that essentially helps you so much more to become the best version of yourself. And going back to food, right? I think I told you before how much I love food. Food for me is, if you're going through a breakup or if you're happy or you're sad, food is always just always there for you and they never disappoint. I love how I refer to food in using they, but yeah, food in general is such it's always there for you, right? And therefore I tend to like, it's not that I can cook, but I love to create some very not so healthy junk food to eat when you're either binge watching a movie or whatever. But one thing that I have realized that helped me become a little bit better than I was yesterday was training my body and training my mind to eat foods that are kind of healthy for me. And like you said, ginger tea is something that I've fallen in love with, which if you told me about a year back that I would be the sort of person that sips on ginger tea as opposed to maybe a soda, I would have been like, oh, no, that's not Jamie. But you kind of train your body and you realize the positive impacts on your mental health, on your physical health as well. Avocado, that again, like you said, um, I truly do love avocado. Ginger, yeah, I agree with you. It's a process of kind of training yourself to do things that are more positive, and that essentially inculcates this sort of discipline that helps you to become the best version of yourself. Is that true, Aaron? Do you
Yeah,
agree?
yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely think certain foods have come into fashion over lockdown. So the likes of avocado, I've gone out for a breakfast, maybe a couple times, and since the restaurants have reopened here in the UK, and avocado on toast seems to be the main thing these days. I'm not sure what's kind of happened or what's gone there, but it's definitely something that people have kind of clocked onto, that it's good for you. It's really good for your brain, really good for your body, and it is quite fatty, avocado, but it's good fat and it's good for your body, and your brain really benefits that. Just going back to, I want to keep this conversation kind of light-hearted, because it's most of our viewers probably do know the negatives and positive of eating healthy, and binge eating as well. It's good to have repetition, I would say. Good to repeat your good habits and eating healthy maybe 6 times out of the week, and then giving yourself maybe one day you can look forward to eat whatever you like and enjoy that day. I definitely think having that repetition and following those good habits is the way forward for many people, and that's a lot of what people athletes do, actors do when they're going into a big role. These are the sort of things they do. They always back up their good habits.
Absolutely. And one thing that I do want to touch on really quick before we go on into a break, the fact that, like you said, yeah, it's trending in society today, especially with social media. Going back to social media, there's a trend where you start eating healthy, where people are looking into personal care, self-care a lot more. It's almost trending now to have a routine, to work out, to eat healthy. But with that being said, there's also a lot of negativity with this idea of eating healthy. Obviously, everybody knows the positives and negatives, positives actually. But as a person that struggles to keep up with healthy diet habits, one thing that I learned within the course of, I think, the past 2 years or so is that eating healthy necessarily doesn't have to be restrictive, right? Like what you said, it's having healthy food is good for your brain, it's good for your physical body, but that doesn't mean that you skip meals and you starve yourself. And eating healthy is not that. Eating healthy is reducing unnecessary sugars, reducing unnecessary fats, but you can definitely enjoy eating healthy. Like you said, avo toast is one of the best tasting things out there, but it's also healthy. So I think it's this like game of trying to figure out what's good for your body, what's good for your brain, and also what you personally will enjoy. And when you find that balance of the two, it just becomes like a very enjoyable thing to do, to try to find foods that are good for you, but also foods that that will make you happy and you would absolutely love to eat. I just wanted to put that out there because I know that there's a lot of people that think that eating healthy is synonymous with restrictive diets. But I think, Aaron, you of all people know, being an athlete, you of all the people know the importance of not restricting your food, but also having healthy foods.
Yeah, absolutely. I think being an athlete is one part of it, but having that mentality and repetition of eating healthy, and people in your ear always telling you what to eat, it's quite good. I quite like that. So it's also feeling good about yourself. I don't want to. I want to kind of reiterate to our listeners that don't force yourself to do something you don't want to do. I mean, it's all good eating healthy, but if you're not going to stick to it, then it's not beneficial. So I do think doing it in moderation is definitely better for people starting out, and then you pick up momentum, and then you can be where you like to be. I think it's a competition within yourself and no one else.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. Aaron, do you agree with us? Do you eat healthy? Do you try to eat healthy? What do you think about the conversation we've been having? We'd absolutely love to hear from you. So go right ahead and comment down below if you're listening to us on any of our lives, or if you are listening to us on our app. All you got to do, like Aaron told you before, is to call us up on 07852 473 With that being said, let's head on to a little break. It is the final few minutes of the show, but we have some very interesting conversation coming up. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on our Relax Radio. Before I go, though, I want to give a big shout out going out to Megan O'Brien. Thank you so much, Megan, for being a part of the show. It's such a pleasure having you on board. And thank you for being a part of the conversation as well. With that being said, let's head on over to a little break. welcome back to the show. Hope you are having yourself an amazing day so far. So far, Aaron and I have actually had some very, very interesting conversation. We've been talking about a lot of different things, and we want you to be a part of the show, okay? We want you to be a part of the conversation, and the best way for you to do that is by letting us know what you think. You could do that by commenting down below, heading on over to our social media and connecting with us on our social media, or very simply by calling us up on our number that is 07852 473 473. Now, Aaron, to wrap things up, it is the final 5 minutes of the show, actually. And to wrap things up, I actually want to share with everybody out there what they can do as individuals in order to be more joyful, okay? In order to be as happy as you could possibly be. And I know we touched on this in the beginning, but just to wrap things off, I thought that we need to share with you a few things that you can do in order to ensure that you are as joyful can be. Now, Erin, in my opinion, I think there are two reasons why we as human beings have problem being happy all the time. And the first thing is because we kind of forget to focus on the little things that make us happy. Yeah, we forget to look at the world, the positive side of the world, and we forget to look at the little things that make us happy. And secondly, we're always unhappy because we focus on the wrong things. We focus on the negative things instead of the positive, and that's why we can't be happy. So, Erin, I want you to, share with us, share with everybody listening in, what are a few things that we can do in order to ensure that we are happy 24/7, 365.
Yeah, well, Jamie, I agree with what you've just said there. It's so important to be happy in your life. I mean, you only get one life, and what's the point of just being miserable all the time? So, I think for our listeners, it's very, very important, and I've said it throughout this podcast, is to focus on yourself. That is the main thing that people can do. If it's today, if you're starting today, focus on yourself. Be happy in what you do in your day-to-day tasks. You never know when it's going to be your last day, or your last day of your life. You need to live your life as if it's the last day. So I definitely think people need to focus on themselves and work hard to achieve their goals in that respect. I think a lot of people do compare themselves to other people, and I think definitely I'm not putting social media in the bad books, but I definitely think people do compare themselves to other people that they're not. People should be proud of who they are and be proud of their name, be proud of their heritage, and it's definitely something that is a downfall for a lot of people. Definitely, respect yourself and have self-worth. What's your thoughts, Jamie?
Absolutely, Aaron. I couldn't have said it better myself. Absolutely agree with that. And I want to add a little point that I think I've told this in the show earlier on. But one thing that I believe in align with what you said, is that you can't love somebody if you don't love yourself. How do you be kind to somebody else if you're not kind to yourself? So I think the first aspect of being a good person and being happy to other people around you as well is being happy with yourself. And being good to yourself so that you know what it's like to love other people. If you love yourself, you know what it's like to love somebody else, and it just makes that process so much easier. So yeah, I absolutely agree with you, and I think it's so important to love yourself in an attempt to love other people as well. And I think love is absolutely important as well. Being full of love, having people to love, having not just people, and I don't just mean relationships, having a hobby or a passion that you absolutely love can contribute so much more than words could possibly express to you being joyful, to you being happy. So I think I just want to remind everybody listening in to follow your passions, follow what you love, do what you love to be as happy as possible.
Yeah, absolutely, Jamie. I just want to echo again what you've said there, to our listeners. Just enjoy your life. Enjoy your days. Enjoy your challenges that you face in your day to day life. And I'm a big advocate for what goes around comes around. So if you give good, it will come back to you, and you'll reap the benefits of that.
Exactly. And finally, before we end the show, I want to remind you, if you want to be truly happy, if you want to be truly joyful, you need to stop worrying about the things things that are beyond your control. Stop thinking about whatever bad is happening in the world, because for as much bad that is happening, like Aaron told us earlier, there's also good happening. There's also as much positive as there is negative. So stop worrying about the things that you can't control. Instead, be flexible like water, and figure out how to navigate and adapt your life according to the challenges that are thrust upon you. And I think stop worrying about things that you can't do anything about, and worry about the things that you can do. And yeah, just try to be as happy as possible.
Yeah, absolutely, Jamie. That's a good message you've sent out to our listeners today, and I hope that everyone can kind of take that on board and pass that information on to their loved ones and their friends, and I hope that message is spread far and wide.
Absolutely. With that being said, it's about the time that we head on out of here. But don't worry, because you can catch both Aaron and I tomorrow on a good show. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. But with that being said, I want to bid you goodbye. Hope that you have the most amazing day ahead.
Goodbye, and thank you for